Home is ground zero. It's the foundation. If your home doesn't fit you, it can't help but affect how you feel, how you react, how you address daily functions, and it may have more of an impact in your life than you realize. Would you say that your home fits you perfectly right now? If your living room functions as a multi-purpose room, say for example, a sitting room, a library, an office, a music room, and an exercise room, I'd say it doesn't fit. If your kids are all in school now, but you've still got bins with trucks, trains, and airplanes crowding your space, your home doesn't fit you. And if you work remotely from a disorganized corner of your bedroom, your home doesn't fit you. If your child is a toddler and growing, but his bassinet is still set up in your bedroom, your home doesn't fit you. If your adult children no longer living in your home, but their bedroom is still exactly the same as when they lived there, well, your home doesn't really fit you. If you've remarried and moved into your new husband's home that he shared with his ex-wife, your home doesn't fit you. Now, if your closets are bulging at the seams, well, your home certainly doesn't fit you. And here's one I relate to. If you're at the age that one significant fall could be the beginning of the end and your only bedrooms are a full flight of stairs away, well, your home probably doesn't fit you. If you're living in a 1,600 square foot home with 9 children, guess what? Your home doesn't fit you. Home is ground zero. It's the foundation. If your home doesn't fit you for any of the reasons that I just stated, it can't help but affect how you feel, how you react, how you address daily functions, and it may have more of an impact in your life than you realize. So what's the answer? Understand your current season. Adjust your home to make it fit or move. So, of all the questions I asked, 5 of them were related to the size of the home. If you need to downsize because you have a large home, you had a large family, and now you're in the season of being an empty nester and you're not using all those extra rooms, the answer is to downsize. If you've got 1,600 square foot house and 9 kids, the answer is to upsize. The answer is basically to move. We are all faced with options every single day of things that we can do, but for some reason our living environment skips that step. And we think, well, it's a lot of work to move, right? It's a lot of work. I've been thinking about moving out of my house because my home does not fit my season. I'm one of those that is an empty nester and heading into the last season, which is basically retirement and perhaps aging in place. But I don't have a bedroom on the main floor and I don't want to fall. So do I move out of this house and get a house that has a bedroom on the main floor? That is a really good option. Or do I add a bedroom on the main floor? In fact, where I plan to do it would be right where you're standing. There are options and things that you can do, but the important thing is to understand that the season you're in. A lot of people are still living in a past season, the one that they just came from. And they don't really, it's such a subtle thing. It's like the frog in the frying pan. It happens so slowly over time that you don't even realize, like the frog, that you're boiling. You're not in an environment that feeds your soul, that meets your needs. And that's what the seasoned home is about. Now, here's another problem. If the actual answer to the question above is not about the size of the size of your house is fine. Maybe it's about organization. Well, the house is perfect in size, but too much stuff is in it. We address this in season 3, 4, 5, and 8 of The Seasoned Home. And I've been doing organization videos this past year, and I can tell you, even for me, at my age, I have obviously collected a lifetime's worth of things, and I don't need all that, and neither do you. So a lot of your feeling cramped in your space has to do with the amount of stuff you have, and you could get rid of, probably, not kidding, 30, maybe even 50% of what you have. and you would feel like the chains and the shackles have been cut off your arms and legs. Huge difference. Now, there were also questions, 5 of them were connected to the emotions, right? The attachments. Maybe your kids have moved out, but you keep those bedrooms that they used to have. You know, Karen's bedroom looks like Karen's bedroom, right? It's black and hot pink and white, because that was big at the time. But maybe you've done it because, well, what if she comes home one day? Then she'll have everything. You need to move on, my friend. It's time to move on and actually have a life. Find yourself again. Let's say you're a woman, you moved in with your spouse, he's a man. Let's say you're in your 70s, right? It's later on in life. And that house is a complete reflection of his previous wife. Maybe she's deceased, maybe they're divorced, but it's her. You didn't pick it, she did. You are living with her choices. And guess what? He's the one that's emotionally attached to that. And here's what I have to say. Henry, Howard, Harold, maybe your name is Earl, whatever your name is, look at me right now. I'm telling you right now, happy wife, happy life. So it's time for you to be detached emotionally to the house you shared with your past wife, and look forward to the new season of life that you're in with your now new beloved that you have decided to spend the rest of your life with. Do something for the two of you. It will do more to bond you together, and it'll be a fun, wonderful project. So step aside, Earl, and let your new wife take the reins on this. That's just my own personal, very strong opinion on that. I'd love to know, those of you who are watching this, do you have opinions on that? Okay, this is a really good question. If a woman remarries or a man remarries, should they move into the home that was owned by the previous spouse? And if any of you have done that, has that worked or has it not? Oh, this should be fun. We could get some really good conversations here. These will be some good ones to read. See what everyone's saying. All right, so the emotional attachment is there, but I want to encourage you to seize the day, seize the season that you're in now, and create a life, create a home that suits you, that meets your needs, that gets you excited about getting up, that makes you content and grateful when you go to bed at night. So I think the kind of the big point of this video is to really stop and think about, should I stay where I am, purge, get rid of stuff, and reorganize and get it in the right locations for where I am in life right now that really works for me, or should I consider moving? That brings me to 2 case studies, 2 stories of people that I have just in the last week come across. And to be honest with you, these 2 women are the reason I wanted to do this video today. I have a friend, she lives here in Tulsa, and she has 6 kids, 4 are still at home. She has recently gone through a divorce and she lives in a rented home. Her greatest desire is to buy a home, to own her own home. But it is a very slow and go process to save the money in order to do that. Many of you, I know, are saving money to buy your first home. Just getting pre-qualified is quite a big ordeal. And I can tell you, my friend, as hard as she is working as a single mom and everything she's putting into it, it is going to be a while before she can move. And yet, she's living in a rental that she used to live in with her ex-husband, which doesn't give her any great memories or things to, when she walks into the house, it's still full of all those years that they had together. So that in and of itself is kind of an emotional thing to think about and how that affects you. And the second thing is the kids, when they moved into that house, that rental, the kids were much younger. They were in a different season. Now, 2 of the kids have moved out, 4 are home, and they are growing all the time. She said she would love to have fresh plants and fresh trees in her house like I do, but she can't because the rental that she lives in doesn't have enough natural light coming into the living room. There's one sliding glass door. Now, between now and maybe 5 years, is she going to continue to live in that rental? Probably, because nothing has told her or suggested that she should move to a better rental home, a home that has windows, a home that is not littered with all of the memories of her ex-husband, a home that feeds her now. And even though moving into a larger rental or a nicer rental or something that has more windows would indeed likely cost her more money, and it would take some time to move, the benefits that she would get from that would be enormous. In fact, I think that when you are in an environment that really feeds you, that meets your needs, that isn't a frustration all the time, you actually are better in your job. I believe she can make more money and save more money overall than if she stayed where she is now, because the effect that it has on her from not depression, I don't think she's depressed, but just that kind of wah-wah feeling compared to a new beginning. That is something to really look forward to. Another person I recently had a conversation with, it was during one of my 1-hour consultations. She lives in a 1,600 square foot home. Now, I don't know if she owns it or if she's renting it. She and her husband are indeed going to build a home. They've got the floor plans, and she contacted me to help her with the layout. She has 9 kids. And he has a big family, so when they're all over, there are 26 people in that house at one time. How do you have 9 kids, 2 parents, 11 people living in 1,600 square feet? How are those kids doubling up? And is she thinking, and that's what my whole time with her was about. Remember, you really don't want to build for where you're at exactly at this moment. Build for where you're going to be in 2 years, because that's how long it's going to take for you to get the permits, build the house, and actually move in. At that point, some of those kids are going to be of age to go to college and to move out. So your needs change and are different. But here's the thing. I actually met with her 4 years ago. It's been 4 years since we first had our first consultation, and now she's back and they're ready to get started. That 4 years, they could have moved into a larger rental home to tide them over, even if it's just the next 2 years, to have a home that's larger and is more accommodating to her season of life would do so much for her and her family. So do you get where I'm going? I feel like a lot of times we are in a place, particularly when it comes to the home we live in. I guess it's because we know how much work is involved in moving, and no one wants to do that. But here's what I want you to know. If you choose to become a member or purchase the new course, the Seasoned Home, what you are going to be exposed to in the very beginning is the history of the homes that I've lived in since I got married. Do you know what? I lived in 10 different rental homes until my husband and I had been already married 22 years before we bought our first house. 22 years. Most people would never know that about me. They see me now, but they don't know where I came from. They don't know my history or my story. But you know what? We moved rental after rental after rental. But that gave my family an opportunity to be in a bigger house. We started in a small apartment, moved to a small house, got a bigger house, got a bigger house. All of that leading up to when we purchased our first home. So when I say move from a rental to a rental, I know what I'm talking about. I have experience in it, and it can be a very healthy and good thing. Oh, just to answer the question, why did I move so often? Because the homeowners who owned the rentals that we lived in would at one time or another come into the house. Maybe they'd bring a plumber over because the sink was clogged or whatever, and they would be astonished at what I had done to what they had previously considered, oh, it's just our rental. One of my homeowners, one of my, landlords actually gave us a 30-day notice and said he and his wife were gonna sell their current home and move back into the rental because they loved how it looked so much. So the bottom line of this video is take a look at where you're at, the season of life that you're in. Try to identify that. What are your needs? Because your needs with toddlers are completely different than your needs with middle school and high school. And they're different for your needs when your kids are going to college or you're having grandchildren. Should you move into another rental or another house? Is it time? Or should you stay put? Remember, saving money to buy a house is a great thing, but be realistic about how much time it's going to take or how much time it's going to take to build a new house. And make sure that you have a bridge from where you are right now to where you're going. What does that bridge look like? Is it a bridge over troubled water? Is it a bridge that when you get there, you're going to be like pumped and ready to go? Or are you going to be so like, get me out of here. These kids are driving me, 9 kids in 1,600 square feet. Honestly, I can't even imagine it. I just can't imagine it. I think she's a saint. She's a good mom, but that doesn't mean you have to stay where you are. So that's my message for you today. And I hope that you really think about it. I want you to leave me a comment below and let me know, did I hit on anything for you today? Was this like, you know what? I never thought of that. That's right. Because I can tell you, my girlfriend who's recently divorced, she had not thought about relocating to a new apartment or a new rental place. She's just been so focused and driven on buying a home. I want her to buy a home. Boy, do I want her to buy a home. But I don't want her to be miserable between now and then. So that's my wish for you. All right, you guys, leave me a comment. Be sure to subscribe to this channel if you're not a subscriber. Keep an eye out for the seasoned home that's coming. We love it when you give us a thumbs up. And I just want you to know that I look forward to seeing you guys next time. Hey, remember, the design sessions are one click away. Best decision you can make. Best buck or bang for your buck, all right? Okay, there's links in the description box below. Next Thursday, 2 o'clock Central, we'll see you right back here on my channel. And I'll see you guys next time. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.